Hi everyone, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite small chess games, possibly one of the world's smallest that has some strategy involved still. So this is called Gufuu Shogi, and it's played with 4 pieces, and the interesting aspect of the pieces is that they rotate by 90 degrees every time they make a move. So, and also another interesting aspect is that some of the pieces are shared. Here's a wind general and here is a storm general. And they're shared between the players, meaning that the player to move can always move these pieces, and if a player captures one of these pieces, it goes into a pot that belongs to both of the players. That can either player can drop the piece on the board when it's his turn. So the rules of the game are in more detail on my website, which I'll give a link to, but black will drop his king on the board first. It starts out as an empty board. And there are 24 ways to drop his king because you can drop in any orientation. There's 4 different orientations times the 6 spaces to drop. So let's say he drops here. And white will drop his king next. The restriction is that the kings can never face each other like this. So they can be adjacent to each other, but they can never face to face be next to each other. This is also fine. If there's a space in between the kings, they're allowed to face in the same direction. So after both players have dropped their kings, black will drop the wind general next. The other restriction with dropping is that it's illegal to give check while dropping. And there's also something interesting about check, is that in order for a piece to give check, the friendly king that's giving the king on the side delivering check has to be adjacent to the piece delivering check. So for example, if white's king is here and black's king is here, remember this is legal because you're not facing each other. Well, actually that's not a good example. If white's king were here and black's king were here, then black would be allowed to drop his wind general like this, even though that would give check if black's king were adjacent. So you're not allowed to directly give check by making a drop. And then white will drop his storm general. Same rules, you can't give check. And you might find these rules confusing, but it's in order to give this game some sort of complexity. You could imagine playing Western chess or even traditional shogi on a 2x3 board, for example, with these kind of pieces, but you would find that would be very uninteresting because the number of legal positions would be relatively small. You could possibly solve that game just by hand. And it turns out I did solve Gufuu Shogi, and there turns out to be about 200,000 legal positions. And believe it or not, despite the small board, there are positions in which it takes 28 moves on each side in order for black to force a checkmate. So it's a winning position, but it takes 28 moves in order to force checkmate. So if you've ever seen like a chess problem where it says mate in 5, this is a mate in, well actually from the beginning it's a mate in 19 moves. Black can actually force checkmate in 19 moves from this very position. And there's another position in which it takes black 28 moves. In Western chess, you may recall that if you have a bishop and a knight plus your king versus your opponent's king, it can take 34 moves to force checkmate. So just the thought that this game is almost as complex as some of the chess endgames, that's pretty fascinating to me. So I'll probably make another video to detail how these pieces move and the rest of the rules of the game. Thanks for watching.